Okay, everybody, I sincerely apologize from the start because one is Extreme Chicken and didn't want to have to deal with a bunch of copyright strikes and everything, so it all got pulled off of YouTube. I manually went in and pulled everything off. Um, so I'm just going to give you guys a general review of the movies that we were going to watch tonight. It all got pulled off. So, Home Alone, great movie. Um, it's got Macaulay Culkin in it. It's got Daniel Stern, Joe Pesci. Basically about this kid who was mistreated by a very large family and then is accidentally left behind when his family goes to Paris for vacation. And the movie's basically about him surviving without his family as his family is trying to get back to him. Uh, the people that were initially inspecting um, his house before the beginning of the movie, or at the beginning of the movie, they turn out to be burglars. And while the family is on vacation and Macaulay Culkin is quite literally home alone, they break in and or they plan a break in and then he prepares for it by setting up a bunch of traps and stuff like that for them to stop them from breaking in and stealing anything. They still break in. They get hurt several times. The guy that plays, let me see, Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern are the burglars, and they go in and they have to deal with a bunch of traps set by the kid, and the kid prevails, and the family makes its way back, and they find him home alone perfectly fine. That's pretty much the gist of the movie. Um, it's a really good movie, and rather unfortunately, I can't play it here like I was going to initially because of copyright issues and a bunch of other things. Um, I'm trying to think of like general thoughts on the movie because I genuinely like this movie and I have had a lot of experience watching this movie because I grew up watching it and it was kind of a Christmas tradition kind of thing that around the holidays we'd start watching certain Christmas movies like Home Alone and The Polar Express and some of those other groups of movies, you know. They're all I'm trying to think of stuff to say. Um, I suppose I could start with some very light-hearted criticisms of Home Alone. It is a great movie, but I have questions about how a family that is of that size, I think it's like a family of 12 or something like that, was able to afford an entire trip to Paris in the 90s and have a house that's as big as it was and keep all the lights on and have all these decorations on and whatnot and still be able to afford to do it all. It's kind of insane. Um, and also, why did the hmm, yeah, this would have been a lot more entertaining if I was able to put the movie on. uh, Home Alone, Home Alone, Home Alone. What I have to wonder is like some of the filming locations look really familiar to me, but I couldn't remember exactly where a majority of the movie was filmed. Okay, Google says that it was filmed in Illinois. Okay. Um, and Chicago's O'Hare Airport as well. Uh, some let's see, what would I pick to be a very lighthearted criticism of the movie for Christmas? It's for a Christmas movie. Um, hmm, uh, Joe Pesci, I suppose, was known for swearing, and seeing him in a different character was interesting. And albeit, I could tell that he improvised a lot of the lines when he wanted to curse, because Joe Pesci naturally cursed a lot of in his other films and other stuff that he was in. But I found out that one of the famous screams from the movie, the one where Kevin puts a spider on the dude's face or whatever, because they're filming it and couldn't do like that actual scream because the tarantula might get startled and actually bite the actor. They basically had him do a silent scream and just plugged in, a scream like outside of the movie. So it wasn't the actual like sound. It was filmed, that scene was filmed in silence. And that, I don't know how I feel about that. It's great technique. Like, I would have never thought initially that that would have been a thing, but apparently it is. Um, man, I can't come up with a really good criticism of that movie. I just can't, because I have a lot of childhood memories of this movie, and it's yeah, it's it's a great childhood movie, and it's a movie that I have a lot of trouble criticizing. And I know I'm kind of repeating myself and trying to figure out what else to say and what else to talk about, because I can't do it the same way I wanted to. Let's see. A couple of favorite scenes from the movie. I suppose I could directly mention when they first try to break into the house, and the actor that plays the burglar with the beard stepped on a rubber nail and like fell down the stairs. That was one of them. Another one was when they were trying to get Kevin, or trying to capture Kevin, and he was going over to the treehouse, and then they tried climbing across the rope thing, and Kevin cut it down. That's another one of my favorite scenes from Home Alone. Um, I'm gonna give each movie about a 15-minute review. So, okay. Some favorite things about the movies too. Kevin's as Kevin snarky as Kevin was, like the little like one-liners that he does in the movie are always kind of funny. The little screams he does too, or I, the scream that he does for the homeless man when he's like trying to run away and he's like flailing his arms and everything looks kind of funny. And he comes around the corner kind of thing and screams in the camera. um, let's see. The scene with the pizza guy was funny too, to where he was like playing the TV and the pizza boy thought that it was, somebody actually saying that. So he ran away when the gunshots were going off, kind of thing. That's funny. Um, hmm. I'm like actively clicking through it now, trying to look at some of it and see if I can pinpoint anything else that I thought was really funny. And I know this live stream's coming out literally right after I start a movie night, but I have to cheat because I am scared of YouTube and want to actually, still be able to post stuff and whatnot. So, uh, what's another scene that's funny? Maybe not funny exactly, but what I have to ask is how did Kevin like mostly clean up the house by the time they got back? That would be another question I would have. Because after all those events and everything, there would be messes everywhere, and the movie doesn't make it seem like he, really did anything. It just seems like he stopped them without like any crazy real consequences. There were, of course, some of them, but it seemed like, he suddenly one day he did it and then the next it was all cleaned up. How the hell would you clean up tar? How would you clean up? Yeah, that's what I mean. Kevin's a menace. Definitely never gonna mess with him because I would be terrified of the dude. If he can clean up like that, imagine what he can make look like an accident. Let's see. What's next one here? Does it say I'm still in movie night on Discord? Let's see. What's the next movie for me? Polar Express is the next one. There's a lot of great music in this movie. Like, Polar Express has got to be probably one of my favorite Christmas movies. Let's see. Trying to pull it up so I can flip through it right quick to give you guys an accurate review of this one too. Who's in it for actors? Let me start with cast. Let's see. Tom Hanks was in it. Um, Josh Hutcherson was in it. The guy that played Peeta in the Hunger Games. Um, who played the? Oh, it has Tom Hanks in it. That's another great actor who was in a lot of other movies. Um, let me see if Polar Express is on there. There it is. Okay, so I, a lot of what I liked about the movie was the music, honestly. The singing and the dances, like the hot chocolate scene thing. Um, the movie's basically about a kid on Christmas Eve who doesn't really believe in Santa Claus, like not fully per se, because he saw his parents kind of act like Santa Claus or something like that, if I remember correctly. And the Polar Express comes in the middle of the night and takes him all the way to the North Pole so that way he can see that Santa's real. And his entire journey comes down to figuring out whether or not he believes in Santa Claus and I suppose the spirit of Christmas kind of thing. So he gets on the train and meets a girl, typical like, hey, shy little character meets girl, and each of the characters in this movie kind of has their own like redemption arc, I suppose is the way I'll word it. Um there's the nerd with the glasses, there's the main character, there's the girl. Um the girl learns to lead. The main character kind of just starts to believe in Santa Claus after a certain point, like really seeing him and seeing all the elves and the North Pole and everything like that. Um, God, I'm really bad at coming up with this. I am on the spot. I am sorry that this is probably not going to be a very, very huge video. Um, Damn, why can't I? Trying to think of good critiques, good like story beats and everything, and it's just all not coming to me because I'm tired. Tired of YouTube being so strict. um, yeah, basically, I suppose the way I can put it is the entire movie is about this guy's venture to the North Pole and back, and then there's a bunch of stuff that happens, like the train derails over ice, it and they have to steer it so that way they can get back on the tracks, and there's a whole bunch of stuff in this movie that is that's really great. um let's see, let's see, let's see. Let's see. Okay, after they get to the North Pole, they get sidetracked and have to find their way back to the group. And once they do, it's a thing of it's only a couple of minutes before Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or whatever, like the start of Christmas Day. So one of the main trio or one of the main group or one other person of the main group gets the first gift of Christmas, and it turns out to be the main character, which is the boy that gets it because he realizes that he actually believes in Santa Claus and believes in the Christmas spirit. And um I think I should rename this stream to PB Terribly Explains Christmas Movies. Let's see. This is another movie that I have a lot of childhood memories about. Uh, Watched it every Christmas and still watch it. In fact, I am looking at it now to come up with this review kind of on the spot. The acting is really good. The movie looks like it's aged a little bit by this point, but it's still a very good movie. Um, hmm, but yeah, I have a lot. I watched this a lot as a kid, and honestly, I still do. Like, it does come up more around Christmas time that me and my family start, well, my family and I start to watch these Christmas movies right before Christmas. So it's like in December, so it's the perfect time for these kind of movies. If I was to maybe give a rating for this movie, it would be a 4.5 out of 5. Because, as I said, I just have a personal love for this movie, and the same goes for Home Alone, because it's another great, like, Christmas holiday classic kind of thing. Um, let's see. Let's see. Um, yeah. So after, wow, I'm jumping around a little bit, but if I was to pick maybe any flaws with this movie, it would be along the same line as this movie is starting to show its age in CGI. Now, I would never say that this movie needs a remake or a remaster or anything like that, but it does need to be updated a little bit. Like it's starting to show its age in a lot of aspects. Like the animation is good, but it's still like it looks a little derpy. It's I would have to figure out what they would have to do to make it like a more modern movie. Because all the angel or not all the angels, all the elves look weird, all the characters look weird, but it's still a great, great movie. Um, it's one of my favorite Christmas movies, actually. I have a lot of favorite Christmas movies, but if I was to genuinely pick a top two, it would be Home Alone and it would be The Polar Express. Even though I've seen it a million times on the spot, I really on the spot, I get nervous and I'm not 100% sure how to describe it all, to be honest. I try, but not too good. Bun's not too good at coming up with stuff on the spot. Um, Once the characters are back home at like the return trip with the Polar Express, they find that there are presents under their tree that weren't before and everything like that. And then um, Christmas morning, main character goes downstairs, finds all sorts of presents, and the first gift of Christmas under the tree. He rings it, and because he believes in Santa Claus and everything like that, um, because he believes in it, he and his sister hear the bell, like hear the gift, which was one of the bells from the sleigh kind of thing, and their parents don't because their parents, don't believe in the Christmas spirit and don't believe in Santa Claus kind of thing, but they do. And it's a happy ending. It's a very happy movie ending. Um Uh, yeah, Bun is really not going to be good at this one. I, I I tried to do something a little different, but it's not going to work out the way I want it to. Let's see. Am I missing any details? Of course, I'm missing quite a few details probably, but he doesn't believe in Christmas spirit. Gets on the Polar Express. Does a bunch of things. Starts to believe in the spirit of Christmas and Santa Claus. And then gets the first gift of Christmas, and then goes back home. And yeah, okay. And once they get back home and go to sleep, they wake up with gifts under their Christmas tree, and yeah, all that stuff. Um, let's see. The next movie is The Grinch. The 2018 movie The Grinch. Hmm. Who's in this one? Let me get that pulled up. Let's see. It's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it. Cameron Seeley, Kenan Thompson. Oh wow, there's actually quite a few actors in this one, and I don't know the names of. Benedict Cumberbatch was in Doctor Strange. Um, Penguins of Madagascar in 2014. He was in Spider-Man: No Way Home. I think that's what Google was saying. Mm, we all kind of know the classic story of the Grinch. He hates Christmas and all this stuff, and wants to take Christmas away from the Who's in Whoville. I suppose I'd have to pull it up there too. I'm like actively looking it up right now as I'm trying to talk about it because I fully intended on watching these movies and didn't because got scared of YouTube copyright laws and all sorts of other stuff. Um, what's this one? I like how in the Grinch this time around, like the 2018 version, they kind of go into his backstory a little bit more, so we find out more about why he is the way he is. Let's see, I'm trying to find like good talking points. Oh, the Grinch tries to steal Christmas by stealing all the presents, kind of thing. But then he ends up changing his mind and returning it all and then joining them all for Christmas because he finds out that Christmas isn't about presents, it's about um God, this is I'm sorry, this one's gonna be terrible. This one's gonna be really terrible. He figures out that Christmas isn't about the presents, it's more about the like I'll call it fellowship, I suppose, of the Who's and being together with family and friends and just being happy and having a good time kind of thing. I suppose would be a really good way of putting it. Yeah, the Grinch tries to steal Christmas by becoming Santa Claus himself and then going into all the Who's houses late at night to steal all the presents from and take them for himself because he wants to watch all of the other like Who's be sad and upset about Christmas. Um, let's see, let's see. Yeah, I'm running out of steam way too quick. Let's see, we about time. I suppose I can get into some of my favorite parts of this movie. Um, Seeing Whoville light up at the beginning of the movie was really pretty. The same thing goes for the animation itself for this movie was done very well, and I did really like it. Um, the comedy was there. It was light-hearted comedy, but it it was there. It was good. It was funny. It was typical Christmas Grinch who Dr. Seuss, that kind of thing. It had that type of feel to it, which is hard to pull off for a lot of the modern like remakes or remasters of old Dr. Seuss stuff. And the addition of more character development and a bunch of other things like that. If I was to maybe try to give it a rating a little bit, it would be like closer to like a 3.5 or a 3.6. Because for me, while it's a good movie, the Grinch story has kind of been redone so many times at this point that it's like, okay, we've seen this before. It's a classic. The original one is a classic movie to watch during Christmas. These are all good Christmas movies to watch during the month of December, which is the best that I can really come up with, which is not good. Um, After the Grinch takes all the presents away and brings him back, he gets invited to the Whoville feast and like finally starts interacting with some of the Who's and um, his heart grows two sizes. The typical story of the Grinch. Yeah, I am not going to be proud of this short stream. My God. The next movie is ooh, okay. Um, the next like little rapid fire review was National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which is most definitely a Christmas classic movie. It has Chevy Chase in it. It's got Beverly D'Angelo. It's got Jeremiah S. Checkett. Um, it's pretty much it's about this family that's going on a Christmas vacation, and um, they start like, or no, that's not quite it, is it? They're basically the plot of the movie is they're trying to get a Christmas tree. They go out to find one, and they start having all sorts of problems, like weird small like mishaps that make it that this is really bad. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry, y'all. This one's bad. Um, all right, yeah. I'm it's all like Christmas comedy, like accidentally getting electrocuted, falling off of stuff and stuff not working and minor inconveniences and whatever the case may be. This video is terrible. This stream's terrible, and I'm sorry. Um, I'm not gonna make it last too much longer than it really needs to, so yeah, gonna just end there. Um, I'll catch y'all around. I'm sorry again, but yeah, this one was bad.